In today's episode of F1 2025, I have to worry about the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix because for some reason, Saudi Arabia, that's all I got. And that is 2 days away, and we're going to hopefully get the cable assembly and plank in for the car. But before that, we have a corporate facility event. Looks like we're going to get a new secondary sponsor. And that would be our fifth secondary sponsor that we have come across, which is huge for our team because that means we're going to get more money. And more money is always good. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the messages. Of course, disappointing weekend, no points scored in the last race. If you didn't see that episode, well, I implore you to go back and watch it because my word. But we did get the Aero expansion, so that means that we can now do 2 research projects underneath Aero. And because of that, with 1,284 resource points, I am going to go ahead and start researching the wing mirrors because that's 11 days away and the other one's going to be 13 days. Might as well go ahead and get it to work now. Still got 1 day left on research for cable assembly. Powertrain is still got 7 days left on the ERS work, and looks like we've completed the research on the internal combustion engines improved materials. So that means that we can go ahead and look at something else, and I'm thinking the turbo would be next. I did notice some wear with the turbo, so throwing that in would actually be a good idea. So we've got all of our research going on. The downside is that I believe underneath development, we are a little backed up here with a large majority of our stuff not being able to do anymore. So I am going to make another facility improvement, and we're going to most likely do a research expansion, on the chassis. That way we can start getting the chassis research done a little bit quicker. We're still going to be bottlenecked in terms of development of the stuff, but the faster we can research, I feel like the better, especially considering how long the season is. I'm also going to take a look at the components on the cars. Looks like everything is rather decent for both cars. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. But what we will do is we'll go ahead and advance to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Chief. Matthias, I don't know if you paid attention. We're bottlenecked, my friend. We literally cannot do anything else developmentally because for some reason, development has been paused and has been paused since the previous episode. So I don't know what to tell you. You just gonna have to deal with it. But we're going to Jeddah, the Jeddah Corniche circuit, a circuit that I'm not good at. I know I'm not good at it, but we'll give it a shot. And for this one, I'm also going to be Jack Crawford because 66 rated driver.
Welcome to the Jeddah Corniche, one of the fastest circuits on the calendar. But let's see who will be fastest of them all. We're about to set the grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Yes, it's qualifying.
And here we are for the Jeddah Corniche. Qualifying. Looks like I'm catching up with somebody. So there were no upgrades for the car today, unfortunately, which really sucks, but what can you do? For me now is to try to bring home a car in one piece. Especially here in Jeddah because I'm not that great here. I know I'm not great here. Probably as witnessed by how much curbing I took. So coming around for the first lap here. Go ahead and pour on the ERS and DRS. And right now, across the line, we are fourth. Looks like there's still time to gain, though. Is not happy. lap. I'm going to get it all the way back around to pit road. But this lap is pretty much over, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn on the recharge, get the battery recharge up. Get back on track again after this. All right, this time I waited until almost the end of the session, so we are now going out. We are P14 though. Still time on the track. Fresh set of tires. I think this car can actually do it. A little too deep into that corner, but no big deal. Unstable through that whole entire sector. Wall.
We've been pushed down into P14.
Won't lie to you, I panicked and had to hop off the accelerator. So this lap is pretty much dead. I think I put too much pressure on myself to try to get through. Qualifying is complete. We're 16th. Most likely going to go further down the line because I couldn't seal the deal on this lap. Out in Q1 again.
Good morning, good afternoon, or for us, good evening, as we're under the night lights of Jeddah. The floodlights are on and so is the pressure here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Piastri, Yuki Tsunoda, and Sainz. Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Russell, and Pierre Gasly. Ocon, Albon, Nico Hülkenberg, and Stroll. Bortoletto, Hadjar, Jack Crawford, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Doohan, Lawson, Behrman, and Enzo Fittipaldi rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday. But in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was around 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometres an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
So for the first time ever, we're suggested a two-stop, double medium to soft, or I can go one-stop. Thinking the one-stop might be the key for me, so we'll stay on the one-stop strategy and go from there. I think today is going to really prove to myself if I can actually still cut it at that point. We've been up there, just had the worst luck. Some of the competitors around us. Everyone, oh wait, looks like most of the grid is. Let me stop that. Everyone around me on the medium, like I'm the only person. And my teammate was almost like that. Where he should have. There's a lot of corners here. You have to be careful of the
Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected.
trying to make sure I get temperature. Everyone's on the medium. Field might go stop. There might be some that are. I won't know. I don't know if Enzo's on. This is going to be very. That's the goal. Keeping the tires up. I got a Mercedes behind me. Should be pretty Alrighty. Grid is reformed. Lights out, and away we go. 18 laps here.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
Albon just threw it in there on Alonso. I saw carbon fiber. Leto. Cover me up. Like Lance Stroll is on the hard. Stroll, Aston Martin. Teammate status. Teammate status. Ah.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 2.0 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. They're 22nd. Systems all looking good. Head down.
out a little bit. That gives you a little bit of breathing.
We can now use DRS. DRS now available.
Hulkenberg and Alonso fighting in front of Albon. I know I went wide. I'm pretty sure it's coming there on Albon. Just inside DRS.
Okay, mate, we might need to look at a new race strategy after that. I've got... Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
Nope. Race over. Well, I knew I was going to mess up. Didn't expect it to be right there. Absolutely horrible. Great. The most depressing feeling that you could ever have.
And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
And 3 wins in a row now, of course, Crofty. Thrown the gauntlet down. The drivers are out there now. They realise that they are the target. They're the ones to beat. They've got the energy. They've got the momentum on their side.
From lights out to the checkered flag, each and every driver has this moment in the back of their mind. Now it's time for their celebrations. Our podium, it awaits. But there can only be one on the top step. Your number one, Max Verstappen. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, yep, like I said, short day. Max Verstappen wins, Lando second, Charles Leclerc third, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Yuki Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz, and Pierre Gasly. Antonelli moves up to finish 11th. Not a good showing for me. I DNF'd. Apparently Bortoletto DNF'd, and so did Ocon. Everyone DNF'd today. That's great. 3 drivers DNF'd, and I was one of the... We're going to head home and try to put this behind us as best as we can. It's never good when you DNF a car, and it's never good when you have something like this consistently keep happening to you. We'll get points someday. Just, it wasn't today. And our sentiment is down. That's great. We just lost our